You know the saying, don't compare yourself to others? Well, I don't think that's always true. But I think there's also a saying that should be said more. And that's, don't even always compare yourself to yourself. Now, this might be confusing at first. Like, how does this even make sense? Don't compare yourself to yourself? Like, what does that even mean? Right? But what I mean by that is that you will go through a lot of different phases in your life. You'll be a different person at every step of the way. Theoretically, you're a different person 1 second you are from now. Every single second, you are changing, you know? The whole concept of you as a person is very poorly defined. Your thoughts and actions, sure, they're governed by neurons. Sure, they're controlled by your consciousness. But, like, what is going on? My phone is ringing. How much of it, 1 second, consciousness is, like, really in your control? You know? What is your personality? Like, you do something wrong and you're like, oh, okay, that's just who I am. Or, like, you know, you act a certain way and you're like, okay, that's just my personality. But at what point does it become under your control? What point is actually your personality? You know? So who you are is already a very poorly defined concept. And so a lot of times it's easy to look back, like I do, at 1 year before, and look at myself and be like, I was much happier then. Well, not, okay, that's not what I meant to say, actually. Yeah, kinda. I was, like, much more positive back then, you know? I had all this energy. I had all this passion towards these things. And now, where has that all gone? It's easy to look at that and be like, wow, this is indubitably a bad thing, right? I've become hollow. I've become sullen. I've lost my childish energy or sparkle. It's very easy to say that. And sure, there might be lessons you can draw from this. Like, okay, I really like that childish sparkle I had. Maybe I can try and imitate it. Or like, you know, I really like my positivity. I hope I can do that. Like, but the problem is, like, if you make these comparisons, it's good to learn from them. But at the end of the day, it's very useless to wish you were another version of yourself that you aren't right now. Because you yourself, it's like a very complex machine, your brain. By changing yourself in some ways, you're going to inadvertently change yourself in many other ways as well. It's impossible to isolate one characteristic, one trait of yourself fully and change that, right? If we were able to do that, like, then that would be really boring. And so, sure, I admit, I probably lost a lot of my positivity. I probably lost a lot of my childish energy. Maybe. At least that's what people have been saying. Whether that's true or not, I don't even know. But the point is, you should be, like, not complacent. This is what I always say about everything. You should be okay. You should be accepting of the changes you have gone through as a person. Because you can't necessarily classify them as good or bad. Just like your experiences, right? Your changes as a person have already happened. Sure, maybe you could have had some effect on them. But what's done is done. And so they have become part of your experience. They have become part of who you are. And there's no such thing as I've become a worse person or a better person. Sure, there are specific things that do make you a good person or a bad person. But in no way are you ever becoming a worse person. What I mean by that is, like, my friend said something really good to me the other day. It's just like, maybe it's slightly copium, but, like, who you are is just another stepping stone on the journey of who you will become. It's just like every single experience, no matter how good or bad, is also always a good experience, in my opinion. Like, past versions of yourself are just experiences you take with yourself, and your current version of yourself is also an experience you will take with yourself, even if you might not like the current version of yourself. And so what I'm saying is, sure, it's very reasonable to identify things you do not like about yourself, to change about yourself, to be like, oh, I like that about my past version of myself, and I want to emulate that. But just like when you're comparing yourself to anyone else, you should not be like, oh, I like that, and that part specifically, and I want that. Like why can I not be like that? Because it's impossible to perfectly accentuate one trait, or, you know, like, through, like, this is all a bit copium, but like, it's okay, you know? You are you, who you are now. You'll eventually become something better because of who you are now. And it's okay to look at yourself in the past and be like, oh, I like that, I don't like that. But you can't be like, oh, I want to go back to who I was in the past. Because that's just not possible. You've gone through so many different things. You're a completely different person now. And it's the same principle as comparing yourself to anyone else. You in the current and you in the past are two very separate people. Sure, they have some sort of connection, obviously, because you're, oh my gosh, at the end of the day, still the same person. But just like you shouldn't compare yourself to anyone else, you also shouldn't compare yourself too much to your past self. It's just like your regrets. Learn from your regrets. Learn from your past self. But don't get lost in it. Don't get lost in the past versions of yourself, what you were, or what you could be, or future versions of yourself. And just recognize what the present version of yourself could be doing better. Seek steps to do that better. And just accept who you are now. Because even if you might not like it, that just means a better version of yourself is waiting for you. Maybe even tomorrow. You know, at first I thought this video was just going to be another, like, really tired, dejected, like, not tired, dejected, just a very generic, like, oh, today is very tiring video, you know? But then Minecraft music started playing. I'm like, oh, I cannot waste this randomly generated Minecraft music, so good. And then even though I started, I got messed up in the middle because someone called me. But anyways, that's why I made the video today. Don't compare yourself to yourself. Be happy with who you are. Like, it's very simple. It sounds cliche, but I think it's true. Don't compare yourself. Don't beat yourself up for not being as happy as you were before, or as this or as you were before. If anything, it teaches you something about what you're missing out on, you know? And so you do make more intentional change and more intentionally control who you are. And I think that's good. It just makes you more aware. And the other point is, it's just impossible to isolate one thing and be like, okay, I've become less positive. But at the same time, you've gained so much more self-awareness, more understanding of yourself, and so on. So yeah, everything has a silver lining. Nothing is black and white. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.